This video is to show an early build, a very early build, of the Japanese Rockman 8 for the PS1. There's a user who I'll call as Junker for short. His full name is in the description box below. He'd had two early builds of Rockman 8 for the PS1, and he's been generous enough to share them with everyone. So I decided to make a video so you can see the differences from this and the final version. This is the earliest version that he has, which he labeled as Beta 1 for easy reference, and the other one is Beta 2. As you can see, as you start off, there's a plain background, there's no subtitle, Metal Heroes. There are no animated cutscenes whatsoever. The only video is the one of the Capcom logo, which you just saw. When you select continue and option, those unfortunately don't do anything. Right off the bat, you can tell they were planning not to have any passwords in this. There's quite a bit of differences, as you'll see, mostly with sound effects. All of the music is different. Many of the bosses are missing. Some of the animation, like especially for Rockman, is different. And some other things that I'll point out as the video progresses. So let's start off. There's only 2 stages available in this beta version 1. The first stage is the intro, which is here. And then there's Frostman stage, which is this. Despite it shows an icon of Tengu Man there, that's actually Frostman stage. These metros here are just placeholders for stages that are not complete, as well as that picture of Rockman sliding. That's supposed to be a picture of the stage. And that's just there as a placeholder. And Duo is also there as a placeholder since none of the 8 main bosses have been completed for this build. This will look similar to that Rockman 7 prototype that's floating around the net for the Super Nintendo. Also, you can scroll to the other side where the other stages would be, which I'm thinking maybe they had all 8 main bosses available straight from the start while they were making this game. Or maybe not, who knows. This, in the final, I believe, is the mid-stage where you fight Duo. And this is where Dr. Wily's insignia would be to go to his stages. And this would be where Dr. Light's lab is, where you talk to Roll and exchange some bolts that you pick up for some weapons and items. Let's start off with the intro stage. If you heard that, Rockman's voice is different as well. Let's start off with the weapons menu. Well, obviously the music is different. You start off with the rock ball right away. None of these items here are selectable, unfortunately. There's nothing there anyway. You can try to pick them, but nothing happens. You can highlight these and press the button. A dialog box comes up, but there's no text. And this, in the final, I believe, is the exit icon. You can still change weapons with the L and R buttons. It's weird, my controller stopped working for that second. Also in this beta, items are plentiful, especially extra lives, which none of them disappear unless you leave the screen or pick them up. And since you start off with the rock ball, Rush doesn't show up here with Dr. Light's message. guess they didn't fully implement that, or they didn't quite know at this point what they were going to do there. Here the music doesn't change like it does in the final version, it just keeps playing the same song from above ground. Swimming here is, I find, a bit difficult, especially when you're trying to change direction. In the final version you can change direction much quicker than you can here. Also, I find his swimming a little bit slower here. And as you're swimming, you can't jump out of the water, unlike the final. You have to stand up, and then you can jump out of it. That little area where there's supposed to be a bolt there is missing here. Down here there's nothing, unlike the final. If you just keep going down, you lose a life. Nothing interesting there. I tried to see if there was something hidden up here, but there isn't. Oh well. This isn't in the final. It's kind of useless since there's nothing there. There's also nothing up here, I already checked. I could backtrack here. Let me do it anyway. Nothing different here. Just backtrack there so you can see nothing's different. The boss here is the only boss available in this demo. Some of the sound effects are missing. Also, if I'm not mistaken, this boss's attack patterns are different. Rockball makes this fight ridiculously easy. I think he has one more attack, but he's not doing it. Ah, there it is. Next up is Frostman stage. For any of you who've watched Megaphil X's YouTube video, you've probably already heard this song. This is the song I was talking about. Sorry if the music is too low, but believe it or not, the volume is at maximum. For some dumb reason, it still sounds this low. This stage has a lot of differences from the final. Oh, I forgot to mention from the last stage, when the word ready shows up, it's not spoken. And I don't know if it's just me, but in this early build, Rockman seems pretty weak. Especially certain sections where you have to fight multiple enemies at once. It can be pretty easy to get ambushed, since it takes a while to fight them off. Either that or the Rockbuster sucks in this version. Also, jumping, sometimes there can be a slight delay, so it kind of makes it annoying. When you need to jump, it doesn't quite jump when you want it to. Doesn't happen often, but it's been happening every now and then as I play. There's no enemies here unlike the final. Nothing up here. Just went up there out of curiosity. I also tried to see if you could jump down here, but you can't. And the snowboarding section. I know a lot of you hate this. And as this early build shows, this is one of the first things that they came up with for this game. Just to piss people off. Actually, not really. There is a easy way to get through these sections. You just have to be quick with your fingers. You pretty much have to jump or slide the second time the sound effect is played. And if you respond fast enough, you'll get it each and every single time. Oh crap. I tried to avoid that enemy on the floor. Oh well. Let's try again. Jump, jump, slide, slide. I don't think you can get that last item. I always try to get it and I always miss. Ah, too late. There's nothing here in the snow, but I believe that there's something hidden there in the final version. One of those balloons with items. I tried checking up here out of curiosity, but there's nothing up there. No enemies here in this lift elevator section. Now that I hear this song, there was actually a user who had a fan site of Mega Man, and he had this song back in the late 90s. I didn't think much of it back then because I don't think the game was even out yet, but he had this song on his webpage. I didn't think much of it, and I kind of wish I did, because he probably had this early build and I could have probably asked him for a copy of it. This enemy here that's dropping the ice cubes, you can't even inflict damage on him here. In the final, you can destroy those enemies. There's a glitch here when you try to push yourself against those ice cubes, but I can't always get it to come out, so I'm not gonna bother trying to do it now. I don't think there's anything up there either. I already checked. Unfortunately, the only weapons in this demo are, like I said, are the rock ball and the rock buster, so there's no flame sword or astro crush to destroy these things. But that one doesn't have anything, so it doesn't matter. I think this is the only one that has an item anyway. And again, this section has no enemies either. Wow. That didn't go too well. Let's try again. You're not supposed to jump in those parts. If you do, you won't make it. And here, there's no boss. They just grab you and throw your ass right out. There's also no game over screen, so you can keep losing your lives and they just throw you back to the stage select. Also, Rockman's explosion is different when you lose a life, but I didn't get to show that. When I get the time, I'll make a video about beta version 2, and you can see the differences there. That version has more stages selectable and more weapons that you can use.